Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I'm happy to say and let you guys know that I'm finally done with STEP. That was a pretty tough exam and the form that I got, and I'm going to make a video about my experience on STEP day coming up, and I'll also make a video about what I did the day before I took my STEP. Now that I'm done with STEP, I can finally catch up to the videos that I wanted to make in the past. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was my investment portfolio. This company that I'm about to talk about, they're new, but at the same time they're not new. And so this company has something, in my opinion, that is very big and something quite revolutionary. Before I go any further, I want to let you guys know that this is one of the videos that has been on my mind for quite a while. In the last 1 or 2 months, we've seen the stock price fluctuate up and down because of different news, because of the coronavirus and all that, right? So actually, believe it or not, now is probably one of the best times for me to make this video. So I guess it kind of worked out in the end. But the giant today that I'm going to talk about is Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic. So like I mentioned earlier, Virgin Galactic has been around for quite a while. It is by no means a new company, and their goal is to revolutionize space tourism, specifically for commercial use. Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail about the company itself in this video, because this video is not about that. If you guys are interested, leave a comment below and I can make a separate video about that. So I'm sure you've heard of SpaceX. You all know Elon Musk, you all know Jeff Bezos, you may or may not know Blue Origin. There are other companies out there primarily focused on research. Private companies have been in this area for many years, as a matter of fact. As you know, SpaceX has been around for quite a while. So the idea of sending crew members into space, to an international space station, sending regular people like you and me, that idea has been around for quite a while. So what makes this so interesting? Like, why am I mentioning this video now? So I'm going to give you guys 7 reasons why I think now is probably one of the best times to invest into space related things. At the very end of this video, I'm going to leave with one simple, but I think very important thought. So stick around for the whole thing, and here we go. Let's start off with Number 1, most of the current revenues from space activity accrue to industries such as direct-to-home television, geolocation, navigation, timing, services, and things like that. But based on one of the research reports from 2019, space tourism is projected to be about 3 billion by 2030 and about 1 trillion by 2040. So for your reference, the airline industry is 2.7 trillion. But really, this is just a very, very rough projection. The revenue that I mentioned and the projections that I mentioned is strictly referred to space tourism. So they don't include government contracts for defense. So the US Air Force recently actually awarded rocket builders, United Launch Alliance, and SpaceX contract worth billions to launch national security missions for 5 years starting in 2022. And just to give you an idea, each mission is worth well over $100 million. So my main point about point 3 is the potential for military contracts. But anyways, I don't want to go too far into that. Let's move on to point number 4. So point number 4 is that they came into an agreement with NASA recently. If you didn't know, their previous CEO, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, used to work at NASA. So this new agreement with NASA allows them to really develop hypersonic air travel. And this agreement with NASA, the idea that it's going to build supersonic air travel is not just that's not just the most important part. This is kind of one of the big first steps that really puts their foot into the door in getting involved with the government. We know the government funds NASA. SpaceX, we know, really, they're like their whole bodies in the door, right? And the thing is, there are not that many companies out there, there are not that many space companies, tourism companies in particular out there that are interested in doing this as well. Their business plan attacks multiple angles. It attacks research, it attacks commercial tourism, high-speed air travel on Earth. So there's a lot of interesting things that they're working on. Their primary, number 1 thing right now is commercial space tourism. So don't forget that. It's very important, and that's kind of the whole reason I'm talking about this. This is one of the biggest things that I wanted to mention. So they replaced the CEO, and usually, for the most part, that is usually a bad thing, right? Because when a company replaces a CEO, it means they need some new direction. But in this case, that didn't happen. Their old CEO did not get fired, did not move on. He moved to a different role within the company. His goal and his job is to develop the company's future business opportunities, things like that I mentioned, including hypersonic space travel, orbital space travel. He's going to continue to lead the development of these programs. Who is Michael Guy, and why is this guy so important? And this brings me to point number 6, right? Michael was recently the president and managing director of Disney Parks International. So he was responsible for the operations, the strategy, the commercialism, and development of these Disneyland parks. So if you guys have been to any one of the Disneyland parks, you know how awesome it is. I love Disneyland, and it's just a good time to be at. It's like the way they made the experience is just great. It's hard to describe, but you feel happy, you feel good, you feel relaxed, and you really do have a good time there. And what makes this so important that he's doing it now is that means that Virgin Galactic is finally ready for commercial space travel. It is a priority now, because they're so far into development, they're just about ready to launch. They have 2 more tests coming up this year, and after these tests are complete in 2021, we'll start seeing them fly customers. Obviously, the first person is going to be Richard Branson, and that's really when this all begins. So we're very close. 2021 is coming up, and that's why I think this is one of the most perfect times to get involved in this company. So my last point is actually just something that I wanted to leave you guys with. There's a survey that was done, a Cohen survey, and they found that 39% people with a net worth of more than $5 million are interested in paying $250,000, which is the price of the ticket, who have this experience. So this market consists of 2.4 million people. So you take 40% of that. So that's a million people who are interested, who have a net worth of over $5 million. So honestly, if you have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever change, or a couple $100, whatever amount you have lying around that you don't know what to deal with, you have a portfolio already that you've invested about 80% of what you want to invest, I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting into this company. Well, I hope I was able to shed some light as to why I think this company is going to be one of the biggest players in the space industry in the next 10 years. Not just space, but commercial tourism really in particular, because there's no other publicly traded company, none, that is doing commercial tourism like Virgin Galactic is. And don't forget, they're not just doing commercial tourism, right? They're doing research, they're doing government jobs, government contracts. Commercial tourism, first and foremost, that is what is coming up. So we're at the end of the video, and like I promised, let me leave you with this one thought that I had while I was reading about this company, while I was learning more about this company. We've conquered the sea. We have boats, we have ships, we have submarines. We haven't explored all of the sea yet, We've conquered it in terms of modes of transportation. On the land, we have cars, trucks, race cars, scooters, we have bicycles. What else do we have? Those one-wheel ride thingies that you stand on? We have airplanes, helicopters, private jets, which kind of falls under airplanes. So we've also conquered, we've hot air balloons. That's not really the sky, but we've hot air balloons. So what's next? Honestly, there's nothing left on this earth. We've done the 4 elements essentially, except for fire. Earth, wind, water. Earth, wind, water. I think those are the other 3 elements. There's really nothing left. So the only logical thing, the only thing that we have been investing in, we have been trying to explore is space. Can you just imagine? Can you imagine you're having a resort in space, doing shopping in space, eating in space, dining in space, dancing in space? Yeah, just logically think about it. So in terms of travel, we're just fine-tuning and enhancing the modes of travel we have on Earth. And space, like I said, is the only logical option next. I hope I was able to plant some seeds, plant some ideas in your mind, enlighten you guys about this company, Virgin Galactic, and some exciting things that are coming up. That $1,000 can become $20,000. You can pay off a lot of student loans in that. And quite frankly, you probably spend $1,000 on things that you don't need to spend in the first semester of college. So instead, you might as well put $1,000 in there now. After you finish college, after you start working for a few years, you might have 20,000, if not more, in your account, right? Just from that one time you put $1,000 away. I call it under the couch money because it's something that you want to leave there. You don't want to touch it. You probably forget about it, as a matter of fact, but it's one of those things that eventually you will watch it grow. You'll see it really multiply, and the best part is it's something that you don't think about. You don't have to stress about it. You have to worry about it day to day. That's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. You don't got to worry about that. Just leave it there. A lot of friends I know have invested in this company as well. In my opinion, I think this is going to be over $100 in the next 1 or 2 years, and I can easily see it hitting $500 by the end of the decade at the very latest. Optimistically, I think it probably hit $1,000. It's all speculation right now, but if it does blow up, if it does get huge, don't ever tell me I didn't tell you so. Anyways, yeah, I'm really thirsty right now. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm gonna go eat something. I'm gonna drink some water. Like I said, in my next video, I'm gonna talk about step 1 and my experience on the day of step 1, what I did in the morning, what I did during exam, what I ate, how much I slept, how well I slept, everything. I'm gonna talk about all of that in my next video. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys soon.